Spirituality has been completely hijacked. This whole collective, we are all one thing is being completely skewed. Okay? Completely skewed. Yeah, we all come from the one, we all come from the creator, but we are individual for a reason. Listen.
Everyone else had access to the information of every other brain on this planet.
What if I told you that there already exists a mysterious technology that the CIA doesn't want you to know about? In fact, it's not me saying this, but a prestigious doctor who has not only experimented with this technology, but has also played a significant role in perfecting and studying it.
If I told you 200 years ago that I had a device I could put to your ear and you could hear what was going on the other side of the Atlantic, you would say that's crazy. But now we call it a telephone. If I told you 400 years ago that I had a device which allowed me to measure and represent your friend, and I could play it back long after he was dead, and you could see that person, you would think it was magic. That's called filming. That's called a video. So think of it this way. Suppose there is a technology that allows us to have access to every bit of information that's available in the geomagnetic field from all of your brains. That's what he did.
Think about it. He couldn't be more right. The beauty of this technology is that it's accessible to almost anyone, if only they knew how to harness it. Yes, it might seem like magic, but remember, not so long ago, inventions like the telephone or the television would have seemed just as fantastical. Now, let's listen as he explains why all the three-letter agencies have desperately tried to keep this as hidden as possible. When it comes to the surface, it gets immediately banned, ridiculed, and labeled as a conspiracy theory.
First of all, knowledge is the ultimate power. And as you know, revolutions occur when about 50%, and this is historical, when about 50% of the population becomes educated, that's when you have revolutions, when they become literate. That's why people are often, and dictators are often against literacy or access to free information. The control of populations is based upon a few having discretionary information over the many. Call them governments sometimes, or administrations. Economic advantage derives from proprietary information. If everybody had equal access and knew what the other person was thinking, do you think there'd be rich people? Think there'd be poor people? And finally, the success of governments depends upon sequestered facts. Do you really think governments could have their power that they have right now if you knew everything they were doing? Of course not.
Okay, let's dive into the full talk. You're about to see just how insightful this doctor really is. He's a distinguished neuroscientist whose innovative research have earned him several prestigious awards in the field of neurological studies. His work, particularly on the brain's interaction with magnetic fields, has been pivotal, offering groundbreaking insights that challenge conventional scientific paradigms. Highly respected among his peers, he has published extensively, contributing over 100 influential papers that have advanced our understanding of cognitive functions and their implications. All right, now let's dive in.
Are we all connected? And the answer is yes. We are
Yes.
all immersed in the Earth's magnetic field. The human species is about 7 billion conductive brains, all sharing this field. Think of 7 billion wires, all immersed in the Earth's magnetic field. This field contains enough energy to store the experience of every human being who has ever lived. It's an easy calculation. Just think about that. All the information of every human brain that's ever lived has the potential to be stored in the Earth's magnetic field with lots of energy left over. There's the Earth's magnetic field. You've seen it on many occasions. In fact, the strength of the magnetic field induced in every brain, right now you're being induced, put it this way, you are immersed in the Earth's magnetic field as penetrating through your brain, through your body. And in fact, the strength of the magnetic field induced in every brain by the Earth's magnetic field, when all brains are considered, is almost identical to the strength that each brain generates. Your brain generates in the order of about a picotesla, which is about a trillionth of a Tesla, much weaker than the Earth's magnetic field. But that's the operational intensity. But what does it mean? It means simply this. Such convergence produces the conditions that allow global resonance and the possibility of a human hologram. That is, 7 billion brains, basically immersed in the Earth's magnetic field, all with similar intensities, the whole equal the sum, and the sum equal the individual equal the sum. That sets up the conditions for a hologram. Calculations suggest that the time required for an event in one human brain to diffuse into all other human brains on this planet would be about 10 minutes, and it would recur primarily during dreams or during altered states. In other words, you can actually calculate it. 7 billion brains is an easy calculation. One brain, something you're thinking about right now, how long would it take if we're all connected to diffuse to every other human brain on this planet? About 10 minutes. And optimally during dreaming, when the right hemisphere is dominant.
Are we all connected? According to Dr. Persinger, the answer is yes. Each of us are immersed in the Earth's magnetic field, which has the energy to store the experiences of every human who has ever lived. Right now, your brain is being influenced by this field, creating the conditions for a global resonance where our minds could potentially sync up. Dr. Persinger calculates that an event in one brain could spread to all others within about 10 minutes, especially during dreams. This idea was tested in the Maimonides dream studies, where people dreaming in one room described pictures someone else was looking at in another room. When geomagnetic activity was quiet, their dream content matched the pictures almost perfectly. So, are we influencing each other's dreams from a distance? And could we learn to access all information directly?
Classic example comes from experimental study. Remember, the most important philosophy that human beings have ever developed has been science and the methodology of science. The most powerful and potent tool has been the experiment. This is an experimental kind of study where individuals who are dreaming in one room and simply engaging in ordinary dreaming in another room, a person is looking at a picture, a target, a picture. And what we find, and this is the work done at the Maimonides Dream Hospital, or dream studies, what we found is that when individuals are dreaming and someone in another room is looking at a picture, under certain nights, when you look at the dream content is exactly what the picture was the other person was looking at. And it's so obvious that not only does the dreamer know, but if you gave the description of the dream and a series of different pictures and said pair the dream content with all of these pictures, they'll pick the exact picture that was being concentrated upon. Notice that the black circles indicate that when the geomagnetic activity was quiet, very, very quiet, that's when the dream content of the dreamer corresponded with the details of the picture upon which the other person was concentrating. Well, think about that. Every time you sleep near someone, are they influencing your dreams? Or at a distance for that matter? Here's a more important question. Why don't these experiences occur more frequently? Or is your brain more like a television remote that is randomly changing channels and ever so often overlaps with the source? What would happen if a procedure was developed that allowed direct access to whole information, to all of it, right? Suppose there was a technology. That's what we're talking about tonight.
As we proceed, he will delve deeper into a science that is simply mind-blowing. Yet, amidst these astonishing revelations, one truth stands out distinctly. Our brains, our very minds, equip us as individuals with all the necessary tools to achieve the extraordinary. Let's continue exploring these profound capabilities and what they mean for us as interconnected beings.
So if you want to take their plan and hijack it and not let them hijack spirituality, hijack us coming together as one in the right way, see us on a better timeline. See us collectively moving to a better timeline. No fear, no worry, only faith.